and waiting to like a documentary to come out on maybe one of those networks, HBO, one of these networks that are we paid for. Everything else was cable television, and there wasn't much information around. Now we're kind of bombarded with so much information and so much news and a lot of things that we probably don't really need. But the fact that you can choose to what you want to watch is very, very powerful, right? So the fact that we kind of take into consideration that social media and what's up, what's going on, guys? We're back, folks, everybody. I want to jump in and talk about real quick about this right here, right? This is the one and only most powerful tool in our hands, right? Our cell phones. And I am, I would say considered a millennial, and I think we kind of tend to forget that up about, I would say 5 or 6 years ago, this tool right here wasn't around. It wasn't as powerful as it is now. We had a phone, we had basic internet, but we didn't have the power it has now. And it is very easily, I think, misconstrued in the sense that it's misunderstood. People say, "Hey, listen, phones are not good for you. It's keeping us from becoming, I would say, more smarter, distracting us." But I think I want to go ahead and question that, right? Without the phones, without our powerful things that we have now, we wouldn't be able to communicate around the world with individuals that otherwise we would have never met. I know for me, I've used the last year, I met so many acquaintances, so many friends on social media through my phone, obviously, through apps like Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And the knowledge that is out here is so much out that we have on our phones. It's incredible. I mean, the fact that in the morning I can jump on and choose what I want to listen to, as opposed to having to watch maybe back in the days cable TV and whatever I had to watch, and waiting to like a documentary to come out on maybe one of those networks, HBO, one of these networks that are we paid for. Everything else was cable television, and there wasn't much information around. Now we're kind of bombarded with so much information and so much news and a lot of things that we probably don't really need. But the fact that you can choose to what you want to watch is very, very powerful, right? So the fact that we kind of take into consideration that social media and our phones are bad for us, I always say it depends. You can choose to make it work for you, or you can choose to make it work against you, right? It's kind of like working out. If you go to the gym, if you do not know what you're doing and you overdo it or you overwork yourself, you injure yourself in a bad situation. Now you have to take a lot of time off, maybe even get medical attention. Like a lot of bad things can happen. But if you do it at a way that it's easy for you in the sense that you're not hurting yourself, you're doing it exactly enough for yourself, and you're smart about it, you get great results. You stay healthy, you feel better, you eventually look better, you start making different healthy choices in life, right? So it depends. Everything has, I think, is positive and negative. We can go online right now and find a positive and a negative to any situation, anything. I'm talking about anything. There will never just be one way, right? And that's okay. That's the reason why we live in this world. Everybody has the right to their opinion. Now, you can choose to listen to the opinions and let them, I would say, offend you, or you can just choose to accept it and whatever works for everybody, right? So I don't think anybody here, including myself, I cannot tell you what to do, but you can think. And my channel here, I always want to have people thinking a little bit more. Like the things that I think about, I want to share with others, because I always felt like I was always thinking to myself like certain things, like, wow, am I going crazy? And now I'm able to share it. It's something that we are, we can be around, cell phones, computer behind me, tablets, whatever it is, but you can always choose what you watch. And I said in my last video, you want to make sure you want to know what you're consuming and what you're consuming, because at the end of the day, that's how much energy you're bringing into yourself. There's some shows that I try not to watch because I feel that there's a lot of violence or a lot of something that's really, really bad, like as far as like making me feel sad for the situation, I will walk out of my house really feeling really sad about the world. And that kind of carries with me my vibration. Me being here on this channel, allowing me to talk, to show my thoughts, raises up my vibrations, raises up my energy levels, where I'm walking around and certain things, certain things that would have bothered me before with other individuals, I really don't I don't really get offended at it easily. And I think that's something that social media has, exposed in a lot of us. Like, social media has exposed individuals that get offended very easily by others. And on social media, people don't have filters because obviously they're hiding behind a keyboard, and they will say things as they feel is necessary with no type of consideration for other individuals. But I think there's no better time than to really understand yourself and understand your mind and how it works and your thoughts, and try to really study more of our own behavior, not yours, not of your friends, family, partners, your behavior and how you carry yourself and how you think and how you actually react to certain things. So using social media to your advantage is up to you. And you're the one that's on, I would say, with your hands on the steering wheel. You want to steer a certain way, you can. There's so many things I could watch on social media that probably won't be as productive or won't be any type of benefit. But I know for now, I think the most beneficial thing that I can do is watch things that will kind of really guide me towards where I really want to be guided to. And there's no right or wrong. If you want to watch something that's funny, I do it all the time to relax, great. But the amount of things that you might want to stop consuming really determines where you're heading. So being very careful with that and understanding that there's going to be good and bad to everything, right? So the cell phones and social media, everybody's going to be bashing it because it's not good for you. But at the same time, think about how many people are making impact the other people around the world with their talents or ideas or even innovation because of this little thing right here. So about that, I don't think people would have voices as they have right now. We all have a voice, and learning to use your voice is probably the power within itself. You have a voice whether you believe it or not. My channel, your account, whatever it may be, you can use it to your creativity, to what appeals to you. And I think first and foremost, it starts with letting go of other people's opinions. And that's something that I work with every single day. And I think whether we believe it or admit it or not, it does affect us. We do think about what other people might think of, like whatever it is that you're into. And the easier you can, the easier you can start doing that, or the more consistent you can stay with that, the more consistent you will start, I would say, not exposing, but really actually, I would say, sculpting or unveiling who you really are. Because we kind of tend to build layers and layers of ourselves to protect ourselves from the outside world. And the more unveiling you do of yourself, and the more in tune you are with yourself, the phone and all these things that we are surrounded by won't really affect us. Yes, it will affect us some way, but not to the extent of what others might try to implement. So if you're on social media, if you have a phone, understand how powerful it is, and also use it to your advantage. And there's no right or wrong, but use it to your advantage and make sure that it is who you are for yourself, not for others. And for me, I know it's kind of tricky because you want to be, I would say, for example, if you want to grow your brand or whatnot, you want to start making content to grow your brand, but sometimes what your truth or whatever it is that you stand for might not be that trending content. You might have a total opposite. So you might have to stick with what your brand is and not have that much exposure, but stick true to what it is. So that is the balance, right? Understanding who you are first and foremost, what your brand stands for, what your company stands for, and having that balance, right? So again, use it to your advantage. Hope you guys have fun. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.